More football is great. More opportunities for these kids to compete is great. Why don't we just evolve the bowl system? Like, for instance, let me just throw out some ideas. And you know what? And hopefully you tuned in. I gave a podcast that dropped earlier this week, and it was just me kind of remembering Mike Leach and what I thought was special about Mike Leach. And obviously, his passing is impacting college football in a profound way. And by the way, his existence as a coach impacted college football in a profound way. And one of the ways was this willingness to think outside of the box and to do things a little bit differently. So in honor of Mike, I'm going to just throw out outside the box ideas about the bowls. I already did right there about the Rose Bowl and the playoff. So outside of the playoff, if we still have bowls, what should they look like? Well, I think you can still have tiers. You can still exist, by the way, if you're the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl and the Sugar Bowl and the Peach Bowl. You can still exist if you're the Holiday Bowl and the Alamo Bowl and all these other ones. And by the way, you play a vital role in the sport. I just think it needs to evolve a little bit. Here's an idea. No bowl game should ever affect the eligibility of a player. So if you're a freshman and you've played 4 games, or you're thinking about a red shirt or so on and so forth, or it shouldn't affect your eligibility whatsoever. It should not count against a year. So everybody on the team should be able to play, no questions asked, no eligibility, requirements or parameters. That's number one. I think that the bowls should start to allow the players to share in revenue. I think that we're headed in that direction. I would be pretty surprised if the playoff 26 and beyond didn't share a little bit with the players, and I think that the bowl season should too. Let me give you an example. What if, like the top-end bowls, the ones that could make the most amount of money, that would be featuring like the 13th and 14th and 15th and 16th and 17th ranked teams in the country, the best teams not in the playoff. Okay, so what if the top-end bowls were to pay the winner of those games $10,000 each, and the loser gets $5,000? Well, one, you're incentivizing guys to play, number one. And number two, you're creating another entertainment avenue, and you're creating an avenue of the player that they're going to feel incentivized to play hard throughout the season to get a better bowl game, because as then the bowls tier down, the money would tier down for winners and for losers in those games. So the lower tier bowl games, maybe you get $5,000 for the winner and $2,500 for the loser. But now all of a sudden, you've got a system that is creating entertainment, value for the player, and it can exist outside of the playoff. Like, why not? And you can't just tell me, well, that's not how it's supposed to be. Well, maybe it should be how it's supposed to be. You see, all of the things that come with a bowl game are important. One of those being player experience. I can tell you that we went to 3 bowl games when I was at Colorado, and I enjoyed every single one of those. We went to the Alamo Bowl, went to the Houston Bowl, we went down to, Citrus or in Orlando. And every one of those experiences was unique and it was special. There are countless memories that I have with my teammates from those trips. And there are so many opportunities to practice as a young player. I can tell you right now that when I was a freshman, we went to the Alamo Bowl, and I got more reps during bowl practice period than I ever have or had before that. And it set me up to then compete for the starting job in the spring and then earn the starting job the next fall. A lot of that started during those bowl practices. Those were vital. We used to call them like Buff Bowl, played for the Colorado Buffaloes. And we would, the upperclassmen would sit there and they would be our coaches. And then all the young players that just had to be on scout team all year long got to go out there and scrimmage. And we would do it almost daily. And it was awesome. Guys, we were betting. We were doing all sorts of things. We were betting bowl gifts, and we had a blast. And that's kind of what a bowl period can be like. is, I think, something that's really exciting for the players. And if we just think outside of the box, then I think that we could have a bowl season that rewards the experience, enhances the experience, and that continues in college football. So again, I'll go back to my premise. I think that the bowl experience and the playoff can coexist, just not within themselves. If you're the playoff, build the playoff to be the best possible playoff you can. If you're a bowl, think outside the box and make your game as entertaining as you possibly can. And I think if we do those two things, that in the future, we could have a scenario where us as college football fans really enjoy bowl season and we enjoy the playoff. And they can coexist in the same year, and they don't have to be intermingled with one another. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.